Welcome to this week's painting update. 2 weeks in isolation for me, and quite a bit done. There's a few new miniatures, mostly big, large figures, and a bunch of old stuff rebased and rescued from the drawers of shame. Okay, let's start with the new stuff at the front, in no particular order. Let's start with this guy here. This is a Bronze Age miniatures werecat. I made him a were tiger because I wanted to do some stripes. He's got a fluffy end to his tail, which tigers don't have, which I'm aware of, but you know, whatever. So there he is, lovely David Soderquist sculpted Bronze Age miniature. Let's get him that side. There we are. He's metal, he's lovely. Next, okay, this is an old Grenadier. Oh, it's heavy. Old Grenadier piece of scenery, made metal. This was going to be just a rebased rescue job, and then I decided to repaint it because it was looking a bit shabby. Comes with the little gems. Here we go. It's not bad. I based him on two MDF circular bases to give him more steps, because he leans backwards a bit. That should keep him flat on the table. There we go. So nice bit of old scenery. All right, this is a Reaper Bones troll. He's warped, as some Reaper Bones figures are. I didn't straighten him. He was, well, borderline throwing him away because he was rubbish, but actually I think he looks a bit, let's try and get him, he looks a bit sneaky, so he survived. There we go, plastic troll, lovely. Right, I'm going to move this guy in a bit so you can look at him. Let's do these together then. So this is a Reaper Bones pack tortoise and handler. I wanted him for a sort of travelling merchant. It's a nice atmospheric piece, and so at the same time I thought I may as well paint this. This is an Alpha Forge. Oh, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a pack beast again. And if you look, just here, he's it's being feasted on by parasitic mites, which is lovely for him. So this, yes, Alpha Forge. You can still get this. It was bought by Mega Minis originally, and then sold off, and another company's bought it whose name escapes me, but I have got a link to their site on my website when you find this figure in the fantasy miniatures section. Although he's technically a sci-fi miniature, he's gone into fantasy because he's going to join this guy and like be a caravan. So I think he's meant to have an extra set of little front legs, which I lost, so I filled the holes. Anyway, so he's bigger metal, and he's light and bonesy. Alrighty, so next up, got an ogre. This is a Bones miniature. Pretty good, I think. Very cheap for the plastic. I mean, you know, so he's quite nice. I didn't have any sort of regular fantasy folklore monsters like ogres and giants, or very few. So so I went out and got a set. So he's the ogre. Happy with him. And then my giant, again, Reaper Bones. Very cheap. Not a huge giant, but nicely characterful chap. And again, very cheap. All right, so that's the new guys. Put him at the back over there. And then the rescued ones. Right, so 1, 2, not you, 3, five Mithril miniatures. This one here painted by Simon Webb, the rest painted by me. I'm repainting a lot of my older Mithril miniatures at the moment. You'll see them soon. These ones I didn't bother repainting because they're done well enough. I painted these in the 90s, mid 90s, not early 90s. My early 90s stuff's all getting repainted because it's not up to scratch. So here we go. So this is okay, so I don't know who any of these are in Lord of the Rings. Is that actually gonna... But this woman was given an extra sword and a blindfold to be the Two of Swords from a tarot deck for my Ars Magica campaign. She's not... Anyway, so happy with her. Nice. The white has still held up well. That's undercoated with Space Wolf Grey from the old Citadel range, not from the mid-90s range, and it's a really nice base colour for white. So yeah, so that's her. This one, I don't know who she is. I did her with a sort of speckledy, hang on, let's get better. Tried to sort of leafy, flowery pattern, just with dots on her to make her, she's obviously an elf, isn't she, I guess, from Lord of the Rings. But she was just a forest person. This is, I think this is a vampire. Yeah. Okay, so she was painted to be Hecate for my Ars Magica campaign, and was used later in my Chronicles of Yarth as a player character. My daughter had her as a player character, so she's seen a lot of table use. This is an elf from Lord of the Rings. Nice. I painted him to be the Archangel Michael, without wings because he doesn't need wings. Got a big cape, so it's very nice. And then Simon painted this travelling guy. The usual strange sort of action pose that Mithril figures get. When they're standing around, they look great, and as soon as you get some emotion, they always look a bit odd to me. This doesn't. Anyway, beautifully painted. So those are the Mithril miniatures. On to the next. All right, a Grenadier horse. Now this again painted my Ars Magica campaign. This is the Emperor's horse. Was an NPC that went with the party. Very useful horse, and a nice horse miniature. Not much more to say about him, is there? So horse. This is also a Grenadier ghost. This is Mark Copleston Ghost. You can get a very similar miniature from him on his site, because this is one of the ones that he seemed to have the masters for or something. Again, nice ghost. Seen quite a few ghosts from me recently. He'll join the pile. This is, wow, okay, this is painted by Simon again. Really nice paint job. I think, judging from the base, it's integral base. I think it's a Ral Partha miniature. No idea who she is. Might be a Dragonlance character. Whatever. Lovely paint job. Useful character. Okay, now the remainder. Oh, look. Oh, now the Mithril figure. This is really strange. Obviously it's well, it's an Entwife, isn't it? Well, I thought they lost the Entwives, misplaced them. Is that what Treebeard said? Anyway, she makes a fantastic Dryad figure. Angular, just excellent figure. So very pleased with her. Talking of tree men, here we go. How about that? Look at him. This is an admin's miniature, used to be available from Garrison Miniatures, excuse me. There'll be some more admins figures coming up soon. Most of them are hilariously awful in a cartoony way, but this guy I think is quite, I don't know, I like him. I'm keeping him. He's going with my other tree men. I've got 3 or 4 now, so yeah, He's full of character. He's great. Okay, what is this? Married Jinn, single Jinn. Ah, yeah. Painted by Simon, I'm pretty sure. Had a big old slab base, so I'm figuring it's Ral Partha. Isn't he the guy on the back of the DMG first edition? I don't know, don't have mine anymore. Anyway, I don't want doing that. Let's see that. No, it doesn't help. He's okay. He's focusing, isn't he? So, lovely figure, very useful. Always need fire genies. And lastly, some worms. Okay, so these two, these are Ratham, I think. Pretty sure they're Ratham, and this guy is a big old metal grenadier one. They make a nice set. I painted them all together at the same time. This one's got little, the big one has bony things to help him, I guess, travel through the earth. So, and then these two are from the Cthulhu range, probably. Are they Bob Murch sculpts? Maybe. They got his angularness to them. I have a giant drawer full of worms and grubs, and these are going to be added to them. Because you can never have too many hideous worm things. Okay, that's it for this week. Not a bad haul, really. The big guys, the giants and the ogres, they took me longer to paint than I'd normally spend on miniatures. Hopefully I'll have a few more numbers wise for next week. So as always, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.